Welcome to the IFB's eLearning module on Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover in this module. Firstly, what is Voice over IP? Second of all, why use it? What can it do for your business and your customers? Third, what are the key capabilities you get with VoIP? Then it's about choosing a system. What do you need to consider? Then we're going to look at some of the limitations. And finally, we'll leave some next steps to think about and links to check out if you plan to go ahead with VoIP. So, VoIP, what's it all about? Well, even if you've never heard the term, you probably know a thing or two about it. That's because so many people are on Skype these days, and Skype is a VoIP service, Voice over Internet Protocol. More simply, that means using the internet to carry telephone calls instead of the traditional phone network that phone companies have used for years. To use VoIP, all you need is a computer with a headset, or you can get a special telephone set to make and take calls. There are also adapters that you can get that let you use traditional phone sets to make calls over the internet. Either way, if you want to get a quick feel for VoIP, go to skype.com right now and download it. If your laptop has speakers and a mic built in, you're good to go. There are a lot of vendors offering up VoIP for small businesses right now. Rogers, Bell, and Primus, for example, all have these services. We've included links at the end of the module so you can watch demos and check out pricing. Okay, now let's look at some of the key capabilities. And as a broker, what can you get out of making a switch to a VoIP telephone system? Well, originally, VoIP was all about reducing the cost of long-distance calling. Doing it over the internet brings the cost of telephone calls to basically nothing. And because webcams are so cheap now, online video chats are as easy as phone calls. But saving on long-distance costs is just one of the benefits. By getting on board with VoIP, you can streamline your communications. You can handle everything in one place, so that's phone calls, faxes, even video and other types of messaging, all on your computer. For example, it's easy to keep logs of conversations, and you can send files right away while you're chatting, so you can keep a record of when you spoke to your client and what you talked about. And as we've mentioned, video is really easy too. You can have face-to-face time with clients over video chats rather than just talking over the phone. And finally, VoIP makes it really easy to manage your business calls regardless of where you are. We'll go into the features in more detail in a minute. Here's a video that sheds a bit more light on the subject. Click the image of the speaker to launch a YouTube clip. When you're done, just come back to this screen and click Continue. Historically, you needed to be at your office desk to take or make a call on your main business line. But when you switch to VoIP, you've basically got a telephone within your computer, and it acts just like an office phone. So you can make and take your work calls online, just using your internet connection. One of the great things is that wherever you happen to be, the number you're calling from will appear the same way to the person you're calling. So that means you can appear to be in the office from anywhere, and people can reach you at your office number even if you're working in a cafe downtown. So when you reach out to a VoIP provider and they get you set up with the service, you'll avoid long-distance charges and hotel surcharges for calls you make while you're on the road or on vacation. You just connect your laptop to the internet, open up the VoIP screen, and get down to business. Okay, let's talk about some of the more advanced features you can get into. Switching to VoIP means you can take advantage of something called unified communications or unified messaging. It's a feature that more advanced VoIP systems will typically offer. It's not something you can get with basic Skype, for example. Unified messaging brings together all your communications. So one screen will show all your email, voicemail, and faxes, and it'll look a bit like an Outlook email screen. With this happening, you don't need to pick up the phone to listen to your voicemail. All you do is just click on the voicemail icon and the message will play through your laptop or computer speakers or headset. And you can easily forward this message to another person, a bit like how you'd send an email. Also, faxes can arrive right on your screen, and from there you can read them, print them, or file them, which is great for privacy because the fax doesn't arrive on a machine if you're not in the office. And finally, when you're using unified messaging, you can take any of these emails, voicemails, or faxes, and you can move them right into the customer's file in your CRM. So they're stored in one place for as long as you want, which is great when you need to check back on a client's instructions about their finances, for example. Time for another quick video. Again, just click the speaker's photo. When you've watched the clip, come back here and click Continue to carry on. Okay, so once you're familiar with some of the key VoIP features like the ones we've just talked about, there's even more you can do. Now here again, some of these are features you typically pay a bit more to add on. First of all, you can manage your calls. So your computer can route calls based on the calling line ID, which means you can manage your calls effectively. For example, the numbers for your top 20 clients can be programmed to ring directly to you. The rest could first go to your assistant's extension number, and then maybe annoying telesales callers can go directly to voicemail. Find Me, Follow Me is a feature that's about making sure calls reach you wherever you may be. So if your main number goes unanswered, the call gets routed to another number, like your cell phone, and then your home number, or whatever numbers you specify. And this is all totally seamless for the caller, because it also means you only have to give one number to your clients. With VoIP, you can give an employee an extension number that lets them work from home but act as though they're in the office. So they can call team members using just a 3 or 4-digit extension, no matter where they connected to the internet. And when they call a client, it will show your main office number. Time for another quick video. Again, just click the speaker's photo. When you've watched the clip, come back here and click Continue to carry on. So we've established that VoIP has loads of benefits, but as with any new investment, you want to be aware of its limitations too. A lot of these come down to the service provider you go with. The good news is that many of these limitations can be addressed with specialized technology or by choosing additional features. First of all, talk to the company that provides your internet service about VoIP and make sure your connection is good enough to handle both your data, so that's your normal internet activity, and also your voice calls. Secondly, sometimes you can experience poor quality calls compared to your traditional phone service. With more advanced systems, this is less of an issue, but it's still something you should be aware of. Not all VoIP services connect directly to emergency services through 911, so check the services and features before you commit. You should consider a backup phone line to use in case of emergencies. Fourth, there isn't currently a legal requirement for a VoIP provider to correct a faulty VoIP service, so that's something you should take into account as well. And finally, because it uses the internet, VoIP doesn't have the same level of security as compared to the traditional phone system. For most small businesses, this isn't an issue, but it might be something you want to consider. Okay, so you've decided you're going to switch to a VoIP system. Great. Now you've got two key choices. With some VoIP providers, you're basically renting the services, so there's typically a fee per user, and you can add extra capabilities for an extra cost. Or, if you'd rather buy and install a VoIP system for your site, you'd be looking at one-time initial costs and also internet fees with ongoing monthly costs. We've now reached the end of this module. Here we've provided some links to help you get started. And remember, if you're interested in continuing education credits, be sure to click Continue below and take the quiz.